What's up, guys? All right, injuries for practice today. Ricky Purcell, knee, will not practice. D. Winters, knee, limited. Brendel, hamstring, limited. Tatum, thigh, limited. Bryce Huff, hamstring, limited. Brock Purdy, toe, limited. Go ahead.
Is there a setback with Purcell, or what's his status right now?
Just the same as what I said last week. No setback, just taking longer to heal than we thought.
As far as Brandon Ayuk, are you confident that he's going to play this year, or is there a possibility that he doesn't ever get that window open and doesn't play?
I would think. I'm pretty confident that he's going to eventually. At least open up his practice window. We talk about it being week to week right now, so still wait until he's ready.
Is it a matter of him hitting these marks? The GPS stuff, the speed stuff, those types of things, very technical things at this point.
Yes.
You did mention mid-March. Would your plan be when he's healthy to just slot him right back in as a starter?
We'll see how the week goes. It depends how he looks. That Spence did a real good job last week, so but he's not limited today. He's full go, so gives him a better chance. But we'll see how the week plays out.
What kind of setback did Eater have, and is there a chance he'll be back this year, or is it bad enough that?
No, he pulled his hamstring, but yeah, he'll be back.
What do you think of Jordan Watkins, obviously kind of making his way back on the field the last two games? What do you think about what you've seen from him, and then how does it kind of help out with the, I should say, injuries with the wide receiver?
Well, he's gotten up and got his opportunity because of the injuries, so that's why he's been up the last 2 weeks. And I thought he had a big play last week on the 2nd and 12 that we went to him on, and just getting better each week and waiting for more opportunities.
Do you see yourself giving Brock more first-team reps this week?
Yeah, I'd like to. Yeah, we plan on pushing it each week.
One rookie we haven't seen yet is Jordan James. How's he doing in practice? And was the plan to sort of redshirt him this year if the veterans ahead of him stay healthy, or could he work his way onto the field?
No, I think he could work his way onto the field. I think it's tough. The plan wasn't to originally, but hurt his knee, I think, his first practice, came back 2 weeks later, broke his pinky, then missed all that. And so he missed an entire training camp, came back, I think, in week 2. Once he did, we had already traded for Brian. We have Isaac with our special teams role and the pass game. And I think he's been getting more reps in practice, doing a good job, and hopefully we'll be able to get him up sometime this year.
You were fairly candid before the trade deadline and the week before about what you guys were looking for, your approach. But I think a lot of fans, when you don't make any other move besides Keon White, view that as some sort of a white flag on the season or whatever. I guess, how would you respond to the fact that you didn't make a significant move, and how it reflects on how you view this year's team?
Yeah, I don't think it has to do with how we view this year's team. I think we worked just as hard this year to make a trade that made sense for our team this year and next year, just as hard as we do every year. There's a lot of teams with records like 6-3 or better that didn't make any big trade. They're not just because you make a big trade doesn't mean it's always a smart move. There's a lot of risk that goes into it, not just for this year, but throughout your whole future. I was excited we were able to make it one that we felt real good about last week and getting Keon. I know we looked into a ton of them, but the asking price was too much on all the ones.
Kyle, when you had Elijah Mitchell here, you finished games with him. What do you want to see from these other backs, or what would you want to see from a back that you want to finish a game with? Because you're finishing with Christian now. I guess.
That they run the ball the same way. I thought Brian stepped in and did a good job. We never said Elijah was our finisher by any means. It's just how it played out sometimes. Sometimes you go in and a guy runs 2 good runs and you stick with them for a little bit. But yeah, no, we never had any role for any back where it's like, all right, this guy goes and finishes it, this guy starts it. It's really just the momentum of how guys are doing, and I think Brian has really stepped it up these last couple of weeks. He's got a couple more opportunities, made some big plays on special teams, and hopefully we can get him in there more.
Kyle, between Mac's play on the field and his leadership, is he been better than advertised?
I guess maybe a little better than advertised, but that's just based off how good advertisements are. Mac's always, he's just done so much in college and done a lot in this league, so we had a good feeling that he could be like this, and he's been like this since OTAs, so hasn't been much of a surprise for everyone in the building.
Everybody notices the kicker, and then you hired a new coordinator. What do what do you think else has gone into the overall improvement of special teams, particularly in the last month or so?
I mean, I think making kicks and not getting a punt blocked is usually the biggest things that stick out the most, or giving up a big return. I mean, those are, you can play really good special teams, and any one of those three things happens on just one play, then it's catastrophic special teams. So I think we've been able to avoid some of the bigger plays that we missed last year. Obviously, the kicker being on it, like he has been, has really helped. And then I think a number of the guys we brought in, I think all three specialists have done a real good job, and they've all gotten better throughout the year too. I think guys like Gibson, guys like Neal, Gifford, guys like Neal, bringing those guys in have helped a bunch, and I think guys are just proven.
Getting some guys back healthy is kind of giving you a situation where rookies don't have to play as much. Can that be good at this part of the season, that they got those reps under the belt, but maybe to take a step back so that they can avoid the rookie wall or whatever you want to call it?
Yeah, I think so. I think lots of guys get opportunities because of injury, and I think opportunities always help people. Whether you did good with it or bad with it, you can learn from it. And sometimes when you don't have to do it for an entire year or something like that, sometimes you get in there and you can manage it for a little bit, but you're not quite ready for it, so eventually you break down. And so when you can get in and get out, I do think it helps guys.
Kyle, I've been wanting to ask you about Jake Tonjes, a local guy. I went to Cal, and what have you seen from him this season that sort of allowed this breakout as far as his performance?
Really just stepping it up in game moments and just showing his teammates and everyone that the game's not too big for him. Starting back to the Seattle game, we had such a big game plan for Kittle that game, and we weren't at all anticipating losing him as early as we did, and we had to change a bunch of stuff, and eventually you just got to say screw it and live with the results. And every time we went to him, he made a bunch of plays, and we made a game-winning play. And then he's done it every week since, and not just in the pass game, but also in the run game, playing through some injuries. So we always knew he had some ability, but I feel like he just really matured in the moment and has been getting it done on Sundays.
Sean McVay drew plays for you early in his career. What do you remember about his time in that role?
About what?
When Sean drew plays for you?
Yeah, Sean was awesome. I remember my dad and I interviewing him, and he killed it in it. My dad was more impressed with it. I thought he was doing a John Gruden impersonation the whole time. But I'm just joking. I was impressed too. But I had the same job that Sean had for Gruden. So what I did for John for 2 years, I think after me was Nate Hackett, and then after Nate, I think was Sean. So we both had the same background, so it was cool to watch and interview him and know where he was coming from. And then he was unbelievable with the stuff. I think always, the picture draw always has the most access to the coordinator, the guy you spend the most time with and stuff. But he didn't last long there. I remember our tight end coach, John Embry, got the head coach job at Colorado, and I think it was like by week 14 that I lost my picture drawer, and we made him the tight end coach.
What about doing that job specifically helps a young coach?
I think it's one, the access to the coordinator, but two, like once you become a position coach, that's what your job is. Like that's what you have to do 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You lock into that position and making sure that position's right. When you're a picture drawer and you're dealing with the coordinator a lot, you got to do a little bit of everything. So you just kind of gives you a very good foundation on how you're going to coach the rest of the rest of your career. I go back to my times before I was a position coach or coordinator, and that's when I really learned defense. That's when I really learned other positions, really learned O-line play, really learned the fronts on defense and stuff like that. And once you become a position coach, you like to do that stuff, but that's not really what's important at that time. What's important is making sure your position gets the job done, and I think there's a lot more room to grow when you're not that.
Given all the injuries to key players, is it fair to say that this team has overachieved through the first half of the season?
I wouldn't say overachieved because we believed we could do this. I think always when you have injuries, it's much more of a challenge, definitely. But I think some of the key positions we have had at key injuries we've had some good guys step up. I'm thinking all these positions, it's just a total backup. I think we've had some guys come in and play like starters. And I also know other teams in the league have some of these issues too. So we're 6-3, we got a chance here. We're in the hunt, but we'll see how we finish the rest of this half out.
Coach, with how well Mac has played, does there come a point this season where you get concerned about messing with offensive chemistry if you make a switch or go back or go to Brock?
No, I don't really get concerned too much with offensive chemistry. It's more, Mac's showing he can play at a high level. Everyone knows that Brock can play at a high level. When Brock is healthy and he's himself, we know he'll play at a high level. So as long as you have a quarterback playing at a high level, don't worry too much about the chemistry.
What have you seen from Upton Stout? And I know the secondary has kind of been moving around a little bit. What have you seen from their progress?
I mean, I love the way Upton Stout plays. I think he's a rookie out there who plays the right way, who's going to be a really good starter in this league for a while. As always, you got to go through some ups and downs when you just throw guys in the fire like we have with him. But he never shies away. He always plays physical, plays, to me, with probably the least hesitation on our defense, just with how hard he reacts, how hard he runs to the ball, and truly believe he's made of the right stuff. And I think this year is really good for him, and he's going to be a good player for us.
The last game you guys ran the ball.
McCaffrey and Robinson, and they're going to get most of the carries. But Garendo did show flashes last year. What does he need to improve to at least give him a chance to get on the field?
He needs to be better than two backs in front of him. I mean, that's how it was in the past. He got his opportunities when JP got hurt, got his opportunities to start when both of those guys got hurt, and he did very well with it. And that's he's just the third guy right now, and you don't hand the ball off to two guys. You hand it off to one, and usually there's a two-man rotation. Sometimes you can have a third, but with Christian being elite as he is in the pass game and protections and stuff, it's kind of hard to get a three-man rotation there.
First matchup, you ran the ball a lot, like 30-plus times, and didn't get a lot for it, but you stayed with it. Now, since then, what have you seen from them, their defense on film? Why are they so tough against the run?
I mean, I think their front five, the guys they keep on the line of scrimmage usually, is probably the best in the NFL. I think they don't have to make the secondary very vulnerable and doing a lot, so they can always have usually 6 or 7 guys swarming to the ball. Extremely hard to give up a big play on. I don't think they've given up a 3rd and 12 plus this year, which is kind of unheard of by week 9. I think they're number 1 in the NFL and second 11 plus. So when you have as good of a pass rush as there is in the league, and that same pass rush group can stop the run, it leads to a very good defense, and that's what they are. All right, thanks, guys.